I did a video probably yesterday, man, about a chick who was saying that women shouldn't want to be married because it's a bad deal for them and men don't really lose nothing. And I didn't know who this chick was, man. And y'all know how I am. I really don't make content directed at YouTube content creators. And I just really didn't know who she was. I hadn't ever heard of her. Like, to me, it was just a random piece of content somebody sent me. So somebody jumped in the comments and said that this chick was named Six the Goddess. So I said, okay, I looked her up on YouTube first. And she got a fairly decent following, man. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to IG, man. She got a nice following over there, man. So, and somebody told me, man, I didn't listen, of course, but some guys say, man, that she was really going ham on the live stream today, man. And she felt that I was attacking her character. So y'all know me, man. Y'all know, man, that I don't attack character, man. It was just some points that, that I heard in that piece that I felt like need to be addressed. But it wasn't a personal attack on the chick or nothing like that. So, I ain't going to respond to it, and then I ain't going to even listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I say what I had to say about it. But, if any of her minions are in here listening, man, y'all make sure y'all tell her, man, that it wasn't a personal attack on her, man. I mean, I don't know her. I hadn't listened to any of her content, but some of my guys say, man, Shawty has some good points sometimes. So it wasn't an attack on Shawty, man. I was just doing what I do, man. Y'all know what I'm saying? So let's get into this, man. But if I had known she was a YouTube creator, I wouldn't have even said anything, man. So moving forward, man, y'all stop sending me content from YouTube creators. A lot of y'all send me fresh and fit content. Y'all send me Kevin content. Y'all send me some MTR content. Y'all send me some AMS content. Stop sending me content from YouTube creators. Anybody who is anywhere around this environment, anywhere around it, whether male or female, just don't send me their content, because I'm not going to get into that, just because I know how this game goes. And if you have built up a following at all, I know how hard you work to build up that following. So let's get on back into this thing, man. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not an apology for what I said in the content. I meant what I said in the content. Every point I made, I meant it. But it was not an attack on the chick's character or anything like that, man. And again, let's get back into this thing, man. So women have been asking me, or women have been telling me in my DMs, they say, I get a lot of information from your content, and they always preface it with, I know you make content for men, but I get a lot of good info from your content as well. And one chick in particular asked me, have you ever thought about creating a channel for women? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have enough to say to women to create a channel for them. I'm not going to be one of those guys that dedicate a whole channel to women. But what I will do is about once a week, I will start giving them some content as well, because I do realize that when it comes to femininity, what a man wants. See, can't nobody tell you what a man wants but a man. And I noticed that there are several females out here trying to tell these women how to be what a man wants. You got to listen to a man. You got to listen to an alpha king tell you what a true alpha male want, what the type of quality man that you would want to submit to and give your best years to wants from you. And I will dedicate some time there. But the first thing we got to do is address one thing. When I meet women, I notice that they ask the wrong damn questions. And when they tell me about the situations they've been in, because they've all got a sob story about a relationship they've been in that didn't pan out, the dude won this or the dude won that or something else. But they ask the wrong damn questions. They have this list of questions that they want to ask a man, and they're the wrong damn questions. You're going to get caught up with the wrong kind of dude. I'm going to do a list like this for brothers too, because you have to ask the right questions. You can't ask these prototypical questions. If you ask the same question that your dad would have asked somebody, boy, you're dead wrong. Women are different these days. Men are different these days. The world is different these days. So, let me put my shoulder headphones on so I can hear myself. All right, now that just got ugly, boy. I don't know what's going on with that thing, man. I ain't gonna worry about trying to fix it no more, though. But now I want to say this to y'all, man. Women do ask questions that make sense. but they don't ask questions that weed out beta male simp mangina. See, as alpha males, we want these questions to be asked because we have positive answers for these questions. We have great answers for these questions. And I don't have a problem with a woman asking questions so she can try to figure out who she about to get herself involved in. Because we can all talk big alpha talk. We can all talk about money. We can all show up and look like money. We can all show up and look like we confident. We can show up with money and have stuff confidence. And then a woman can't tell the difference between stuff confidence and self-confidence. And what this does is when a woman go through some of the beta male simp mangina, then she come to me and she got all these self scars. You did? So let's get into this thing, man. Now, if you're a dude that feel like, man, something wrong with this type of content, man, then just get the hell on out, man. You know what I'm saying? You can go ahead and bounce. It ain't gonna kill nobody. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. You can go ahead and bounce. But it is very necessary for women to be told what the hell they need to be by men. Alpha men, as a matter of fact. Now, I did have a couple of simps that I want to address. Man. I normally don't do this, but I will do this. Now, on the piece of content, man, that I did today, man, and I may give that piece of content, man, to Patreon, man. I may. Honestly, if I give it to Patreon, it ain't because I having a problem doing the content. It's because content ain't doing no numbers. And if y'all know anything about me, I get the content about 2 or 3 days. If it ain't doing no numbers, I pull it down, man. And sometimes I just don't do nothing with it. Other times, man, I'll lock it over on Patreon. Other times, man, I'll give it to the members. But if the content don't do no numbers, man, I'll pull it down. And that piece of content ain't really doing no numbers. So, but here we go. When you meet a woman, she's going to ask you a series of questions. I changed my mind about addressing them simps, man. Now, I don't even, the boys there, man. So like one nigga, he didn't come in 2 or 3 times. Like these dudes wild. So here we go. Y'all got to. It's funny, man. So one simp come in and say, lied on this woman based on a clip without properly dissecting and making informed analysis like a man would, and change the title and caption and thumbnail. Once he got caught out by her for lying, I'll never come to this channel again. And so he says, book a beta running me. Bro, I don't even know you. Nigga, your presence is not required. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, if that's what you want to do, fine. You know, say I'll be book a beta running me if you want to. I change titles on my shit all the time. And I don't listen to women content. It don't matter who they are. I don't listen to female content. I may listen to a YouTube short, but listen to content, man, I'm not for listening to no woman talk. I don't want to hear no woman talk. If somebody send me a piece of content, I address it, but I am not going to sit and listen to no woman talk. And for no reason at all. But the title that I changed it to did work, but I changed the title 3 or 4 times. That's just what I do. If a title don't work, you have the right to change it. And sometimes the algorithm will pick it up, sometimes it won't. This time, it did. The video just ain't doing no numbers anyway. Now this same simp come in earlier. This was a masculine or alpha. I said, thanks for watching. Nick came right back and said the same thing in the content. Like these type of dudes right here, man, they have problems, probably mommy problems or whatever, man, where they feel like it's their job to be on code to come in an emotional defense mechanism or whatever they be doing, man. I don't know what dudes be doing, man. I have no idea what dudes be doing. So here go another guy. Wait, did you see the full video or are you triggered off a clip? You need to do better, my brother. See, here's the thing about it. You don't have to see the full nothing. If you see 5 minutes of something, you can just talk about that 5 minutes. That 5 minutes says what it says. If I tell you, I hate this group of people over here, but earlier I said, I got business arrangements with that group of people. That don't mean I like them. That just means they can help me make money. That means I can put my personal feelings to the side and get money with these people, even though I don't like them. So, you know, all of these, it just goes to show you how feminine dudes will get in the defense of pretty much any woman. Like these guys just defend any woman. You can say anything about anybody. These guys gonna jump to the defense force. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to point this out just to show you that we're in an environment where you can't even speak the truth. No one can dispute anything I said within the context of that video. That's why everybody in the comments came in talking about the title and the thumbnail. Now, go into the video. Tell me where I lied in the video, where I broke down every single aspect. I come with the truth, man. That's all I do. I come with the truth. Thumbnails and all that, man. Thumbnails are just for shits and giggles, man. They just thumbnails are basically, YouTube tells you thumbnails are to get clicks. The click-through rate on your thumbnail determines how long people gonna watch your joint. If people gonna click on it, if they're gonna watch it. How to algorithm affect it. The thumbnail is the thumbnail. But the content itself cannot be disputed. Nobody can dispute it. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave it up. If you can dispute it, and send me a link, and I'll come to your channel and listen to your dispute. You can't dispute the content. Matter of fact, you can go through the channel. You can't dispute the content. And even if you do, your opinion don't matter, because what I'm telling you is where I stand on everything. So, and I ain't going to even block the dude, because he'll be back. You'll be back. So when you say you're not coming back, you'll be back. Your ass will be back, boy. You can't stay away. Now, let's get into this thing, man. Travion Jefferson, man, appreciate the 5 bones. Salute to you, Doc. I've been following you for a year and a half, and I shifted my mindset on how I deal with chicks. Keep doing the Lord's work. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate it. So that's just where we stand on this, man. We're going to keep doing what we're doing, man. We're going to keep knocking them down, and here's the thing. If you can call us on the content and say that the content is untrue, cool. Do that. Matter of fact, don't send me a link. Just do it wherever you're going to do it at, because I don't care to listen to it anyway. Warhammer, appreciate the super sticker, homie. Now let's get into this thing, man. I have no idea what that light thing is right there, man. I think it's a halo over my head, man. I think that's what it is. That's a halo over my head. So homie just said, keep doing the Lord's work, man. It's a halo over my head. So y'all bear with that. I have no idea what it is, man. Why it's there. I tried to fix it. I can't. It's a halo. That's what we're going to ride with. So here's the thing, man. Let's get into this content. A woman will ask you questions around the topic, but not ask you the questions that the topic should actually be based on. Like she has to dig deep. She has to go more in depth. You understand what I'm saying? So for instance, a woman will ask you, how many kids do you have? That's a great question. How many kids do you have? But it's irrelevant as hell. If a man got 1 and he don't take care of it, or a man got 3 and he take damn good care of it and they live with him or whatever, or their mom died or what, or the mom is unfit, you just don't know. That's a bad question. The question a woman should ask is, how often do you see your kids? How often do you talk to them? Do you provide for them effectively? In other words, do you take care of them? How well do you get along with their mom? Because that's going to determine one or two things. If you and the kid mom don't get along, either you picked a terrible woman or you're a terrible man. There's only 2 reasons that 2 parents don't get along. One of them was a bad judge of character, or maybe both of them were bad judges of character. But these are the type of things you need to know, because here's the thing. If a man is in a situation where a woman is making his life miserable and he's not man enough to bow out of that situation, I mean, as far as engagement goes, you have to provide financially. But if a woman is giving you a hard time, man, taking care of a child or spending time with a child, damn that time with that child. Just send money. You ain't got to beg and plead and chase no woman to allow you to do. Now, notice I did say allow. That's the society we live in. To allow you to do what is your right to do. Or you can go to court. You understand? If you value it that much, go to court. But when you go to court, fight for full custody. Don't go to court and just get no visitation rights. If you want to take it that right, you go to court, man, and you throw all the resources you have and get in full custody of your seat. But this is the type of question that a woman should be asking. A woman asks you, how many children do you have, and won't ask no more questions. So she'll let you around her child. Man, you know how many stories come out in the news, man, where a dude, a quote unquote stepdad that did something to a kid, man. Sometimes, man, they be over. You know, they end the kid. Other times, man, they do things to them. They neglect them. They starve them out. They do things, man. They hit them. They do all kinds of things. But these women don't know how to vet that. And then you meet the woman, and she got that child, and the woman is she's scarred from that scenario. Many women out here get scarred because they allow men into their lives, and women are horrible at vetting men. They're horrible. That's why they go here, there, to, and fro, and listen to all these different things. Like they'll listen to, you know, this content say this or this content say this. They'll take it from all women, old women, young women, white women, black women, women who don't even speak no English. They'll take whatever they can get because they know that they're horrible at vetting character. A woman will ask a man, do you have a job? She don't even ask the man, like, you know, does he even enjoy the job? Is he punctual? Is he about to get fired? How long he been at the job? How many jobs you've had in the past year? Man, you just never know. You can get to the bottom of it. And listen, I know some of y'all gonna feel some kind of way, but we don't support beta male simp manginitis over here in the alpha sphere. If you're not a man striving to become the most alpha version of yourself, then we're gonna call you out on that because you beta male simp manginas are part of the problem. You're the reason that so many men are just swearing off American women because you are allowing American women to do whatever the hell they want to do when they with you in a relationship. You don't require anything from them. And then when you show up, they don't require anything from you. So it's just a big mess and a whole bunch of scarred people. And then y'all scarred people go get with more people and scar them. And then guys like me and my men in the alpha sphere, we ain't got many options in the U.S. We're dealing with the fallout from the beta male simp manginas and the scallywags. And then they ask why we look outside the country, because the options are limited within the country. Let me tell you something right now. 95.8% of the women who will be eligible for inclusion in the life of an alpha male are already in the lives of other men. They're already in relationships. You find me a woman who's single, she's single 9 times out of 10 because she is not fit to be in a relationship, or because she's not fit for the man, or she's been scarred so many times by so many beta male simp manginas. And here's the thing: a beta male simp mangina ain't just a man that let women run over him. There's men out here, man, that build lives off abusing women, physically abusing women. If a man physically abuses women, he's a beta male simp mangina. If a man lays up and just lives off women, he's a beta male simp mangina. And we ain't talking about no pimping. We talking about a dude that do nothing, sit at home, let the woman take care of him. He don't do nothing. He got to ask her for money. You know, he got to ask her to drive her car and all that. Those type of dudes, man, they beta male simp manginas. If a dude ain't got no money and he's living with a woman, and he's still trying to cut her friends and do all that, that boy's a beta male simp mangina. And women are always caught up with these type of dudes, man. Always caught up with them. A woman won't even ask you, have you ever been accused of any child against a crime? Like, man, you know, a woman will be with a dude who's a registered sex offender and won't even know it. Ain't got sense enough to ask, and ain't got sense enough to check on the registry to see if he's on there. Because by law, you have to register, and most dudes do register. I mean, besides Nicki Minaj's husband, but most dudes register. So they got a man in the house with them around their children, and he's registered. They don't even know it because they don't care. They're so afraid they're going to lose a man that they like. So afraid they're going to lose a man that they like. And it's crazy out here, man. Because those are the types of things that have women so scarred. And then when you meet her, you don't know she's scarred like that because you're such an amazing man with that alpha energy, man, that she damn sure don't want to lose you. And so she ain't telling you about those scars. That's why I tell you, man, don't dive in so deep with a woman. Don't meet a woman and then be trying to have sex with the woman as soon as you meet her, regardless of what these dudes say. Regardless of what other dudes say, no alpha male has any business meeting a woman and trying to immediately have sex with her without gauging who she is, what she's about, and what she's experienced in her past. It's not even about her numbers. It's about what's going on up here. How her past has affected her psychologically. That's what we need to know. Because let me tell you something. You can have a woman that's been one of them beta male Simp Mangina that's been abusing her for years. And she can say, you know what? The next dude even raised his voice at me. And I think he want to get violent. I'm going to lay him out. Now here you are laid out here dead when he's supposed to be the one dead. But you done got with the woman not knowing she got them scars because you know what you're trying to do? You're trying to hurry up and jump up and down on her right quick. It's the same thing with men, man. Man, listen. A man will be in a situation where he could been gone through so much with a woman, and he say the next woman that he even think cheating on him, he gonna take her out. And then that woman with him, she don't even know it. The dude she talking to is really her cousin. Really her cousin. Just got out of prison. When he went to prison, she was single. They were young. He been in prison 10 years. She 28, 29 now. She grown. His growth got stunted because he been behind the wall off the scene for all them years. So he come out and he the same age she was when he went in. So he blowing her up, trying to hang out with her, trying to kick it with her. The dude so scarred, he don't want to hear no excuses. He say the next time he think a woman cheating on him, he gonna take her out. And you know what he does? He take her out and take her friend out because her friend was trying to help her leave because the dude done got crazy. I'm telling you, man, I'm quoting you stories that I've known to happen, man. I'm quoting you stories that I've known to happen. A woman asks you, when was your last relationship? Who gives a shit? She won't ask you, how often have you moved from one relationship to the next immediately, directly to the next? That's a man who's emotionally dependent on women. An emotionally dependent man is almost worse than a drug addict because a drug addict will go get high. An emotionally dependent man will become possessive. He'll become controlling. Woman can't even go nowhere. Woman can't even do nothing. He blowing the woman up all the time, doing all this. And then when you meet that woman, she's so void of emotional connection that she becomes a bugaboo with you. Now you caught up in the real life fatal attraction up in this moment. Because this dude done drained that woman of everything, didn't give her nothing back, and now she's leeching off of you, not intentionally, but just subconsciously, she is leeching off of you to get all of the energy that she should have got from that man while she was giving herself away. Man, the relationship game is nuts out here, man. It's nuts out here. You got to really, really be careful out here in these relationships, man, because the world is a pretty wicked place, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty wicked place. A woman won't even ask you, do you still love your ex? A woman will be in a situation with a man thinking they finna be together, and the whole time the man still in love with the ex, man, and she find out the man ain't never stopped cutting his ex. You know why? Because the ex can call him in the middle of the night. He'll get up out the bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and go help her wherever she at. And then that woman, her self-esteem is low as hell now because she got a man in the bed with her who will get up out the bed with her and go help another woman. Do you know how damaging that is to that woman's psyche? See, a lot of these women around here that dress themselves up all pretty and be all on IG showing themselves, trying to seek that validation. They need that validation to keep them going crazy because they've been with a man that made them feel like shit. The majority of women, no matter how attractive they are, have been with at least one man who make them feel like shit. And they all got to admit it. Every one of them has. So when you hear him talking that I'm every woman talk, when you hear him talking this and that and all of that, when you hear him talking that, man, you got to understand, brothers, that these women are dealing with healing. They are trying to heal themselves from the damage that was caused from their interaction with another man. PP, appreciate the $100 sponsorship on the show, brother. Salute to you. Appreciate it. Hornet, salute. Appreciate the 5 bones, man. Salute to you, homie. Now, before we continue, I don't know where these thoughts be coming from, but somebody hit me up from time to time and say that somebody be calling me out. Like there are some content creators that be calling me out. I don't listen to y'all shit. So I don't know who calling me out. I really don't. Anybody who I listen to wouldn't be calling me out because we talk off camera. You understand? We talk off camera. We have a relationship off camera. So I don't know who you are. If you have anything to say about me, I ain't gonna hear it. because my guys ain't gonna share it with me, and I just ain't gonna never hear it because I ain't never coming to your channel or whatever platform you're on. So I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish when you tell me that. Because obviously it wasn't no real live get at. I ain't never hear it. Or don't nobody care enough about it because I ain't never hear it. It don't matter, man. Let me tell you something. If you not hating on me, that means I'm a small fry. You understand? If you are hating on me, that means you know who I am. And you truly believe that if you put me in your title, you're going to get some views. And I appreciate that. I'm thankful for that. I thank God that I have that kind of reach where you believe that I can help you make some money to feed your family. I appreciate that. I appreciate the blessing from God that is. So it don't really matter what you say. I don't care. I don't care. If you notice when guys diss me in the comments, I just say thanks for watching. If you feel that type of hatred toward me and you still watch the content, my nigga, thanks for watching. If you feel that type of hatred toward me, shout it. Thanks for watching. And I know whatever content you watch, it was so good. You'll be back. You might not comment no more because you did say you ain't coming back, but you'll be back. I'm blessed with the gift of gab. It's just a blessing. It ain't me. It's God working. So I don't know what that even means. That just crossed my mind, man. I thought I needed to address that. And as far as all that going back and forth, man, Jonesing and all that, man, dog, I'm a grown-ass man, dog. I don't sit around and do that. We ain't finna go back. Like, you can roast me all you want to, nigga. I don't roast. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from, we don't roast. You know what I'm saying? We heat up that toast. I don't know nothing about no roast. So I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? I don't even, I listen to it. I think, oh shit, it's one hell of a roaster. But as far as me doing it, I don't do it, man. I'm not a comedian. I ain't funny enough to roast. Chief, appreciate the 10 bones, man. When people ask us and our pops who's the realest, everybody gonna respond with one voice. Say, I ain't gonna lie, Dr. BOA the realest. Salute to you, bro. Salute. I appreciate that, man. B. Ross, appreciate the 5 bone paying tuition. Salute to you. Kazan Clan, salute to you, my brother. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it. Crystal 167, appreciate the 5 bones. Shout, appreciate it. Good evening. God bless. Salute to you. Be blessed, shout. All right, let's get back into this thing before I get sidetracked and start talking about that. Here's another thing, man. A woman won't ask you, are you and any of your ex's best friends? Let me tell you something. That best friend shit, nobody should be going for that. If you are best friends with an ex, that's crazy to me. Or if you and somebody were best friends and y'all end up being intimate, that's crazy to me. That's a relationship that shouldn't be there because somebody has an ulterior motive. Somebody would like to get it crunk again. And so, and especially from a man's perspective, if a man has an ex and he's her best friend, he's being used. He's being used 100%. She's capitalizing on his desire for her, on his emotional attachment to her, and he's being used. Now, as a woman, what woman want a man that can be used by another woman? If you got a man, don't you want to be the one to use him if he's gonna be used? Hopefully you ain't trying to use him, but don't you want that to be left up to you? A woman won't ask you how many times have you been caught cheating. She won't ask you that. Then she wonder why when she with you trying to cut everything that move. She ain't ask you that. She asked you, when was your last relationship? You tell her your last relationship was such time. That don't answer none of these questions. So you meet a woman and she been with a man that been cheating on her the whole relationship. When I say cheating on her, I'm talking about lying to her, saying, no, baby, it's just us. Why he going to be with other women? No, baby, I wouldn't do that to you. Why he going to do that to her? No, baby, she lying, but she ain't lying. No, baby, I don't know who that is, but you know who that is. That's cheating, dog. As a man, you don't get to say you're a man when you sit around here lying and deceiving the woman about what you're doing. If you're a man, own up to what you're doing. If you're a man, live your life like a man. If you ain't living your life like a man, then you're a sucker. You don't get to claim manhood and masculinity, man, when you sit looking at woman right in the face saying, no, baby, ain't nobody else, but when you know it is. But women don't ask those questions. They don't ask those questions. If you know, if a man tell you honestly how many times he got caught cheating, if that man say anything, if he say ever got caught cheating, that means he's a liar. Now, He may have changed his ways, but this is something for you to be aware of. See, I'm trying to keep y'all from being scarred. So if you're blessed enough to come across a man like me or my brothers in the alpha sphere, or any high value man, or any other alpha male, if you're blessed enough to come across a man that's worth it in your life, you don't need to have the type of scars that push that man away, because then you're going to end up being bitter and lonely. And let me tell y'all something. There ain't a lonely woman in the world who ain't bitter. And let me tell you something else. There ain't a lonely man in the world who ain't bitter. Loneliness is bitterness. And I don't care who you are, how strong you are, how real you are, how feminine you are, how masculine you are, none of us wants to spend the rest of our damn lives alone. I'd be lying to you if I told you, man, that I just don't want to have no woman the rest of my life. I ain't saying she gonna come from America, but I'm saying I'd be lying to you if I told you that. It's instinctive. It's innate for us to be drawn to the opposite sex. And that's real talk. George Michaels, man, salute to you. Appreciate the time. Dr. Every man in the atmosphere needs to focus on survival. Inflation going insane, all this hedonism and solipsism of the succubi that men bought into will be a sure death. Getting right with the Most High, number one. That's real talk, man. Getting right with the Most High is number one. And that's why I speak from where I speak, man. You understand? I was put here in this position, man, to speak on behalf of the Most High, to speak to the men and also to the women, as I'm doing tonight. Now, like I said, I'm not going to dedicate a full channel to them. I ain't going to do that. But I will speak on some things that will benefit both parties like this. That's real, Sco. I'm not telling you to pillow talk with the woman. I'm not telling you, man, to sit up and tell about all your wildest dreams and everything you plan on doing and all that and sitting and crying on her shoulder. Last night, me and my woman, we cried together. I don't want you to do that. Don't do that. But when you let a woman know your true intentions, you let a woman know what you can give and what you can't give her. You let a woman know what she can expect and what she can't expect. You let a woman know what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do. You let a woman know what you are willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And you let a woman know, damn sure let her know what your expectations of her are. And you be honest with her and let her know that it's okay for her to say, I can't give you that. That's what you want her to do. You want her to be safe and comfortable in telling you that I can't give you that. I'm not built like that. That's what's wrong in this world today, man. Everybody trying to get over on somebody else. And that's why in the alpha sphere, man, we just talk about, man, just keeping it a buck. Now, let's get back into this thing. Another question, woman, especially modern women, will ask you, do you have a degree? Having a degree is cool. I'm not knocking having a degree. If you want to make money, especially as a woman, you probably need to have a degree. There are other things you can do, but a degree for a woman is almost necessary if you want to make a livable wage in this modern society, especially in the West, in America for sure. But what she won't ask you, and I want y'all to listen to this. This is very important. This is a question that a woman should ask a man. Did you or your parents decide which degree you would pursue and which school you would attend? That is a very valuable question. And the answer to that question is going to determine whether this is a man or a boy. That's what this is going to determine. That's going to determine if this is a man or a boy. Now, he may end up being a man, but at this particular point, you have to just assume or at least accept the possibility that even the probability that he's a boy, not a man. Because at some point, your parents have to not be the major influence in your life. That's the whole purpose of becoming a man. You take what you learn and you go out in the world, man, you figure it out. You can always go to your parents and ask if you hit a roadblock, be like, I don't know what to do right now. Hit your dad up, ask him if you have that luxury. But otherwise, man, you don't go into no career that your parents pick for you. You don't go to no school your parents pick for you. Man, you know how many men out of school they hate because their parents went to that school or their parents told, man, they got accepted to the school he wanted to go to. You know how many guys want to go to HBCU, but he got accepted into Duke, and his mama made him go to Duke. His dad made him go to Duke. He's miserable, pursuing a degree that he don't even want to pursue in an environment that he don't even want to be in. And that man is going to be bitter. He's going to be miserable. And anybody who's bitter and miserable is going to take it out on whoever they're involved with. That's just human nature. You're going to take it out on who you're involved with. I had a cat telling me, man, that he was going to work every day, man, dealing with these people, man, going home. He was taking it out on his old lady. At that point, I realized that he didn't love his old lady no more. He loved her, but he didn't care for her like that. Because when you care for someone, you don't come home and dump your troubles into their lap. You don't come home and abuse them because you feel like the world has abused you. Especially if you're a man, you go out here and deal with the world, man. You have a hard time in the world. You come home, man. You let your woman soak up them problems, man. That's what she is. She's a sponge to soak up your troubles. You come in, man. You jump up and down on her, man. You dive off into her, man. You drop them troubles off into her so she can cycle them through her body, man, and push them out at the end of the month. All those negative energies, she can push them out during that 7-day period at the end of the month, once a month. But if you are a man who, you know, if you're a man who living a life you don't want to live, man, how miserable you are. You know how miserable you are. A woman won't ask you, is that something you have a passion for? Are you going to school for 4 to 6 to 8 years for something you have a passion for? Or are you wasting all this time and resources on something you don't even want to do? If that man is wasting time on something he don't want to do, he's going to be miserable for the rest of his life. He's going to be miserable for the rest of his life. And that's a tough situation to be in. Being miserable for the rest of your life. Looking at something that you're so dedicated to, that you bought into so much, that you have so much vested in, that you can't give it up. You can't change your mind. And misery loves company. A miserable person is not going to bring you joy. They're not going to enhance your joy. A miserable person is going to drag you down into the depths of misery with them. Whether that's a miserable man or a miserable woman, they're going to drive you down into the depths of misery with them. That's just the reality of the situation. No one can deny that. Another thing, is your current job in that field? Women ain't going to ask you that. They want to know if you got a degree, and they want to try to figure out how much money you make. That's another thing. Woman to ask you how much money you make. She won't ask you how well you manage money. She won't ask you if you have some habits. You know how many women will meet a man who has a drug habit, or meet a man who has a gambling habit, or meet a man who has a tricking habit, or meet a man who can't stay out the shake joint, or meet a man who is on seeking arrangement, or meet a man who's making a whole bunch of money but don't know how to manage it, a man who has no self-confidence, so he's living his life trying to buy stuff confidence because they don't ask the right question. They just want to know if you make money. They don't give a damn what you do with it. You can look like money and not have no money. And that'll be good enough for the majority of women out here because they ain't going to ask you no questions. You know why? Because they're going to assume that you are the type of man you present yourself as. And we know we live in a world, especially with the advent of social media, there are many people acting like something they are not. There are many people who are presenting themselves physically in a way that they don't even look like. It don't even represent them. Man, listen. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. If a woman sent me a picture now, man, she got sent. I need to see a picture of her, man. What have not done? I don't need to see her because you can't tell if she's using a filter or not. You really can't tell, man. Like some of these filters have gotten so good now that if you're used to seeing women with filters on their pictures, you just don't ever know. Man, dudes out here getting abs sprayed on, man. All type of things are going on, man. Dudes out here getting man weaves and all type of things are going on, man. Now, granted, you can do what you want to do to yourself. But you have to be authentic. So whatever the hell it is you're doing, if it's not the authentic you don't shock somebody so much that it scare them the hell off. That's a hell of a lie to tell somebody. Hell of a lie to tell somebody. Somebody sent me a video a couple of weeks ago, man. I ain't doing nothing with it, man, because I ain't gonna touch it. It just ain't there for me to touch on my channel. I might do it for Patreon, but transgender, dealing with a dude, say the dude don't even know. Asking, is it right to tell the dude, or is it okay to just keep it from him? And then got upset and started calling people all type of things for being in the comments saying you're a low down dirty dog for doing that, man, like that. But that's the world we live in. We live in a world where you have to know who you're dealing with, and the only thing that's going to help you do that is taking the time to properly vet who you're dealing with. And here's the thing. If somebody don't want to answer these questions, you cannot deal with someone who doesn't want to answer these questions. If somebody want to answer the question that you need to have answered in order to move forward with them, don't move forward with them. It's really just that simple. Don't move forward with them if they can't answer the questions and give you the answers that you need in order to feel comfortable moving forward with them. Stop being so damn desperate. A woman will ask you how much money she make, but she asks you your credit score, but she won't ask you how much debt you got. Do you know you can have a mountain of debt, and long as you pay it on time, you can have a decent credit score? Having a decent credit score don't mean nothing. It just means you got a bunch of debt that you pay. It means that you paid a bunch of debt. If you have an 800 credit score, man, you paid a bunch of debt. It just means that you're a person who piles up debt a lot. Now, if I'm saying you're supposed to have a 600 credit score, no. I'm saying, but you can't just let that be the determining factor, because you could be drowning in debt, killing yourself, paying everything on time, not even having money left over, man. Let me tell you something. I knew some cats, man. I knew a cat and his wife, man. They had 3 children, lived in $1 million home. There's a subdivision in Birmingham called Greystone, actually like in Hoover, Alabama, called Greystone. When Michael Jordan played for the Birmingham Barons back in the day, he lived in a house in there. I knew a couple of professional golfer partners, man, who live in there. Dude was living in there, man, every single day. They were living in there. They were both driving BMWs. She had the X5. He had the it was back in the day. It was either X3 or the X5. He had the 745. They were balling. Man, you know, everybody in their house every day. They used to have a company called Staff. It was an off-brand company. Used to make those little bitty frozen pieces that you put in the oven for 10 minutes. Him and everybody in his family would eat that every night. Man, I saw that boy trash. He put it out one time, man. It fell over. Man, it was one of those big, huge contractor garbage bag. Man, was full of them boxes, man. Full of them little dollar pizza boxes. His whole family, man, eat dollar pizza boxes. Crib was laid. Whips were laid. Kids were going to the best quality schools, man. Wardrobe was on point. I'm talking about, man, they couldn't even afford to eat. They would eat dollar pieces, the whole family, every night. That was dinner every night. Dollar pieces and water. You never know who someone is, man, until you know who they are. So a woman will ask you that about your paper. A woman will ask you, like, do you pay the people you owe? See, you can pay your debts, but then not pay the people you owe. Like, do you borrow? Another question, do you borrow money from people? You understand? Like, how many loans have you taken out? Like, how many loans have you taken out? Personal loans. A business loan is something different. Personal loans. How many personal loans have you taken out? If you're a man and you get into the money and you still taking out personal loan, boy, you bad at managing money. No woman should trust a man who's bad at managing money. You shouldn't trust yourself as a man if you're bad at managing money. If you're bad at managing money, man, you better let the woman manage the money. A man has to accept his weaknesses. You have to accept the things that you're not good at. And if you have someone around you who's better at that than you have to be man enough and real enough to let that person handle that. So that means your woman is the one that handle the finances. You better let her handle the finances, brother. Or y'all gonna be in the poorhouse together. Another thing I want to ask you, and this is one that's gonna hurt some people. She won't ask you, are you interested in or planning entrepreneurship? Now, just because you got a job don't mean you should quit your job, but every man should have one thing that's his own thing. Even if you don't make but $1,000 a month off that thing. As a man, you gotta have something that you do that you control. So if everything fall apart at your job or your career, or whatever, you know how much better it feel if you lose your job and you have nothing but that job. You know how much better it feel, even if your expenses every month are $5,000. You know how much better it feel to have something you're doing on your own where you make it $2,000 a month. Because if you dedicate the time you dedicating to that job to what you make it $2,000 a month at, oh, you can make $5,000 a month. I promise you that. If you're working a 40, 50-hour week job and you got something that you're doing on the side that's making you $2,000 a month, oh, you can pay your bills off that if you do it 40 hours a week. But if you ain't got nothing, you relied 100% on one source of income. That's just not smart. It's just not a wise thing for a man to do. And a woman shouldn't trust a man who is willing to do that because it represents a lack of insight. It represents a man who is okay with putting all of his eggs in one basket. Now, is that okay for you as a woman in a relationship? If you want to put all his relationship eggs in one basket, sure, you can love that, but that doesn't transcend to all other aspects of life. Wisdom, understanding, and knowledge is the thing that a man must be able to showcase. He must be able to showcase that. Now, another question a woman asks you. How's your relationship with your mom? Do you have a good relationship with your mom? That's hit or miss. Who cares about that? Women, and here's the thing, women have used that as a gauge for years, not knowing that pretty much all they was checking for, they were trying to get themselves a mama's boy. Because the question you should be asking is your mom the most important person in your life? I've heard dudes say they love their mama more than they love themselves, man. I stopped hanging around that dude right there. Dude couldn't come around me no more. I mean, if there was a group of guys and he was just part of the group, cool. But like me and him just kicking it, nah, bro. You can't come to my crib by yourself. You got to come. One of the other homies got to bring you. And then I'm looking at him like, man, you don't know who this is? If you tell, you cannot trust a man who says his mom is the most important person in his life. Because at a certain point, as a man, she's not the most important person in your life anymore. As a kid, as a boy, yes. But at a certain point, as a man, you become the most important person in your life. Any man who has not crossed into the point where he is the most important person in his life, he cannot be trusted. He cannot be trusted. And here's the thing. I know a woman may say, okay, well, that means that if he put himself first, that means he put himself before me. Okay. Would you rather that man put himself before you? Which means that if he puts himself first and builds himself up, then you can benefit from that. If he puts you up, he can't benefit from that because you're not built to carry the load of the household. You're not built to carry the load that a man should be carrying. But if he puts himself first, he's going to put himself up and he's going to always take his family with him. If he puts his mama before you, oh, you in bad shape. You in bad shape. Any man who put his mama before his woman is a sucker. He's a beta male Simp Mangina. And I know some beta male Simp Mangina gonna come in and say, well, to be away. If a man, if your mama, you can always trust your mama. You can no hell you can't. You can trust her to do what? You can trust her to be your mom and feel entitled to whatever you have. You can trust her to make you feel like you're responsible for taking care of her for the rest of your life. Here's the thing, and this gonna hurt some feelings. Now you can do this because I pay my mama bills now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like my mom bills, she don't have to worry about no bills. She can just do whatever she want to do with whatever money she get. But I pay my mom bills. That's just what I'm gonna do. If you want to do that, cool. But you're not obligated to do it. You're not obligated to do it because it's every woman's husband's job to take care of her and pay her bills. If she ain't got no husband, that's on her. What problem is that? That ain't my problem if she ain't got no husband. I choose to do that because I'm all my mom got. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just gonna let it be out there like that. I'm too blessed to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was struggling, man, she got to figure it out on her own. I ain't gonna take money. I ain't gonna take money out of my own household and give it to my mom. So if I had a family and what I had was need to take care of my family, my mom's just gonna come up short. I'm not gonna ever take money out of my house that I need to take care of my family with and take care of nobody outside of my house. But a man who's a mama's boy will take money outside. Man, I know a dude, man, let me tell y'all something. I know a dude, man, who would like that with his whole family. He was putting his vehicles up and putting his crib up, man, that him and his old lady had together, put it up, man, to bond their brother out of jail. That fool skipped bond, man. They were just blessed that his mama knew some people so well, man, that they wouldn't pull the house. They were ready to take the house. That fool almost lost his house for his brother. We ain't even talking about your mama. We talking about your bum-ass brother. You just almost lost your crib for your brother, homie? Come on, man. I ain't putting my life on the line for nobody. I don't sacrifice me for nobody, period. I'm top dog in my life. So I come before everybody. That's everybody. Woman, children, parents. I come before everybody. And the thing is, the modern woman don't want to hear that because in her mind, she thinks she's supposed to come first. She thinks because she put the kid first, you're supposed to put the kid first. The thing is, you're a mother. The maternal instinct is different from the paternal instinct. The paternal instinct is to create a legacy, to leave generational wealth, to protect that legacy. So that provision and protection is different with your sons or even your daughters if you have some. It's different. But when it comes to who you gonna put first in life, man, self-preservation. Self-preservation is the manliest thing. It's the manliest concept that a man could embrace. There's no manlier concept than self-preservation. And that's just the reality of it, man. And a woman has to learn how to appreciate that. The problem with the majority of y'all women, y'all don't know what a man is. Y'all think y'all can decide what a man is instead of embracing what a man is. And you got to figure out how to embrace that and let it flourish in your life. Because if you got a true man in your life is going to flourish just by his presence. But too many of y'all are pushing men away because they have strong outlooks like what I'm talking about tonight. Man, I don't know what's going on with that. That halo getting bigger, boy. I must be shining, man. All praise to Jah, man. I must be shining. That halo getting bigger around my head, boy. It's growing. Rev RJ Rochelle, man. Appreciate the dub sack. Salute to you. Preach. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate it. With all the credentials behind your name, brother. Salute to you. JK Rowe. Salute. Let me see. Oh, man, I got these damn glasses. I can't see that. Appreciate the super sticker, baby girl. Appreciate it. Javier. Appreciate the dub, man. The deuce, man. Just listen to your 3-year-old 20 signs she choosing. Salute to you, man. You went back in the vault on that one. Jared James. Salute, man. Welcome to the Alpha family. Welcome to the Green Label Gang, homie. Homie say he love the Naruto shirt, man. Salute to you, bro. Salute. All right, so let's get back into this thing, man. Here's the thing. You got to ask a man, did his mom control the household when he was growing up? Because here's the thing. If you're a woman that wants a true man who's going to control and run the household, just like you had to grow up in the household to see a feminine woman, I don't trust no woman in her femininity talk if she didn't grow up in the household with a feminine woman and a masculine dad. If her mom wasn't feminine, her dad wasn't masculine, I don't trust nothing she say about femininity because she don't know what the hell it is. She has no idea what it is. You understand? If her dad isn't the man she respects the most before she meets you, of course, that respect transfers from him to you, if you that dude. But if she don't have that upbringing where she saw her mom being feminine and submissive to her dad and saw her dad being caring and protective over her mama in exchange for that femininity and submission, she don't know what she's talking about. But the same way as a man, you don't know what you're talking about. If your dad was a beta male Simp Mangina, you don't know what it means to be alpha with a woman. If your mom was overbearing and powerful and strong in the household, all you know how to do is submit to a woman. Because I promise you, if your dad submitted to her, oh, you submitted to it too, because you ain't even have your dad backing you. And if you don't have your dad backing you on growing up alpha, homie, it ain't gonna happen. You gotta have your dad or your uncle or somebody, man. You gotta have somebody backing you on growing up being a man. Because if not, you're just gonna fall into the wayside and become what women say it's okay to be. And if you allow a woman to choose, she wants a safe haven. She wants a rest haven. She wants what's comfortable for her. It's innate. It's in her nature. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's a true thing. A woman wants what's easy for her. You have to be the voice of reason and make sure that the woman who's following you is taking the correct route. Why? Because you're taking the correct route yourself. Another thing, she will ask you, what if your mom doesn't approve of me? This is the most important question a woman can ask a man. After you ask that man what kind of relationship he has with his mom, if he say, I hate my mom, then that's something totally different too. You never want to deal with a man who hates his mom. Because at that point, he's still an emotional little boy. Because whatever his mom did to him, 9.9 times out of 10, it happened when he was a little boy. So he has scars from his childhood that he hadn't got over. Flee. You got to flee the scene on that one. You can't even give that brother a chance. Don't try to help him. Don't try to save him. Don't save him. He don't want to be saved. Move on. Because all you're doing is setting yourself up for the type of drama that you ain't going to be able to recover from. And the man that you're supposed to have, the man that God has looking out there who's gonna find you. He gonna find you, and you're gonna be damaged goods. Your goal as a woman is not to be damaged goods. When that alpha man who's looking for you comes across you, you got to make sure you're not damaged goods. That's your job. But when you ask a man, what if your mama don't approve of me? He gonna say two things. He gonna say, well, if my mama don't like you, I'm gonna have to strike you. Or he gonna say, shit, shout, I don't care what my mama like. Who you sleeping with, her or me? Those are your two answers. One of those two answers is gonna come. And if the second one ain't the one that come, flee the scene. If a man will still let his mama decide what's best for him in life, even though she ain't never been a man, no woman on the planet, no woman on the planet, I don't care who taught her, I don't care who bought her, I don't even care who fought her, no woman on the planet has enough insight into manhood and masculinity to be able to tell a man what's best for him. No woman does, in no situation. You can't tell a man what's best for him in his life. The same way I can't tell a woman what's best for her in her life, but I can tell a woman what we looking for as alpha men. I can tell a woman what turns us off as alpha men, and I can tell her how to avoid those things, not because I know so much about womanhood, because I've seen the types of dudes who put these scars on women. I've never been in a committed relationship, not from my end. Never been in one. I've never been in one. But here's the thing. I've never acted like I was in one. I've never portrayed that image like, hey, I'm in a committed relationship. I never did that. But there are men out here who will marry a woman, and be with another woman the night before the wedding. Be with a woman the night after the wedding. Be with a woman when he come back from the honeymoon. And be with, I'm talking about you're an evil man. That's all it is. You're an evil man if you will actually go legally marry a woman and say those vows or anything similar to them that you made up yourself, and then still go out there and be a dirty dog like that, a dirt dauber like that. That's one of the most surefire signs of immaturity and lack of self-confidence. Because at a certain point as a man, you have to view the majority of women as being beneath you. The majority, and I ain't saying this to be cocky, but the majority of women are beneath me. No matter how beautiful she thinks she is, or no matter any of those other things, there are very few women who are on a level where I look at them as a feasible option for my life. Very few women. That's just the way it is. Very few women that I view as a feasible option for my life, because there's just so much required to maintain the life that I built, the environment that I built, the lifestyle that I built. There's so much required, and a woman has to fit into that perfectly. I can't have a woman who still got one foot in the streets and one foot out. I can't have a woman who still seeks social media validation. There are some beautiful women. There are some beautiful women. There are some very attractive women who still show themselves on social media. There are some women who, there's some pro-blackity black women who show themselves on social media. There's some, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went and looked at her stuff, man. 6 to God, this ain't a bad looking chick. She ain't bad looking at all. But she shows herself a lot on social media. Now, is it crazy looking where she out there twerking and doing all that? Nah, it ain't none of that. But for me, I just can't have a woman who shows herself on social media at all, in any kind of way. Like, she needs to be totally void of social media engagement. I'm not saying, man, listen, man, I know women right now who have a Facebook account, but they've never posted. Now, they caught up in looking at some stuff, getting some laughs, but they never posted. That's a far cry from a woman who has to post every day on something. For me, myself as a man, and it may not be a problem for most men, but for me, myself as a man, I don't want my woman to be focusing energy on social, unless she getting a bag off of it. Now, if she getting a bag off of it, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. A career, that's something different for me. If a woman is doing that strictly for a career and it's strictly her career, man, that's fine. I'm more accepting of that. But there are a lot of women out here that just doing, man, for the validation of it. And I can't have a woman who still needs validation from social media and she ain't making no money. You want me to tell you what social media validation is? Where you on social media and you getting a bag. The bag is the validation. The likes, the shares, the comments, they cool. The engagement is cool. But if it ain't making no bag, I don't know what you're doing. And that's just the reality of it, man. But a lot of people out here, you got guys out here where they will be a certain type of man and they will try to adjust themselves for a woman. That's why a woman needs to ask questions about, when you ask a man, does he have a criminal record? Don't ask me, does he have a criminal record? When you ask him that, you also got to ask him, has he been to prison? You also got to ask him how many times he's bought his way out of a sentence where he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Some of these things you got to ask as you get to know a man. You can't ask all these questions in the beginning. But this is getting to know somebody is a continual process. So you need to be trying to find out all the determining factors that'll make you fall back. After you ask a man, has he been to prison? Then you got to ask him, has he ever been with another man? So y'all ask questions about, okay, when the last time you had sex? How often do you have? No, ask a man, has he ever been with another man? Ask him, is he attracted to other men? You know how many women will not? I never had a woman ask me that. Ever. I've never had a woman ask me, am I attracted to other men? And if a woman asks me that, I'm perfectly fine with answering and telling her, no, shout it, that ain't for me. I don't knock the people who do it. Long as I ain't got no people like that in my life, or no people ever try to come at me like that publicly. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But for me, myself, that ain't for me. But another dude, if you don't ask him, it ain't something a dude gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? Women don't never ask that. I guarantee you, if you poll 1,000 women and ask them, do they ask men that when they date? I guarantee you, man, probably at least 95% of them hadn't even thought about asking that one. Hadn't even thought about asking that one. And the crazy thing is, I'll ask a woman, has she ever been with another woman? I ask, is she attracted to other women? Not does she find other women attractive, is she attracted to other women? I ask a woman that in a minute. Because that way you get to know. A woman can tell you, I ain't been with no man but you, but she been with 3 women. See what I'm saying? You have to ask questions. And this ain't just for women. Everybody has to ask the proper questions when you're dealing with someone, or you're going to get a bad deal. You're going to get a bad shake, man. And that's just the reality of it, man. Like some of these things are things that people just never even think about asking. Like you ask a man, does he have a job? Okay. Where's your job? Oh, one more thing about your mom. You ask a man, is his mom his primary advisor? That's the worst thing a man could say, that his mom is his primary advisor. His mom is his primary advisor. This is a man. What is she advising you on? Now, it's different. If your mom is held in business and she's your business manager or something, that's different. Business is business. You hire the best person for the job. I'm talking about your personal life as a man. How are you getting advice on how to be a man, how to be a proper man, how to be a good man, how are you asking your mom for this? How to be masculine. How's your mom? Your best mom, I met this chick and blah, blah, blah. How are you going to your mom for that? Your mom don't know what to look for in a woman unless she like girls. And even from that perspective, she's showing up to look for as a man. And I understand your dad might not be in your life. Okay, well, you better ask your coach or somebody. You know, so you better ask your principal. You better ask your supervisor at the job. You better ask that old dude that been at your job for 40 years. Better ask him. A woman will never ask a man, you know, in your relationship, how many times you ever had a restraining order against you? Have you ever been charged with assault? Have you ever, and even if you have you ever had to defend yourself against a woman? Get the story out. You need to know all of these things, because even when a man's defending himself against a woman, there's never a reason for a man to really just whoop a woman. There's never a reason for that. You do try to slow the woman down, especially if she got a weapon or something like that. But then you ask yourself, why is a man with a woman who performs like that? Why is a man with a woman who acts like that? For me, I prefer the type of woman who would just say, okay, I feel like I'm going to do something to you, so I'm going to leave. Because I don't want to do nothing to you that's going to make you do something to me. Two people who are adults who can't control themselves and contain whatever anger they're feeling are both too immature to even be thinking about being in a type of relationship. Kevin R., appreciate the dime. I just came back from getting a no God retreat, and I'm in shock because of the fact I have to sacrifice my lust for a variety of women to not sin. What's your thoughts, Doc? Thanks for everything, Bill. Let me see. I have to sacrifice my lust for a variety of women to not sin. Bro, how are you sacrificing your lust for it? What you mean sacrificing your lust? You can have you can have a couple of wives, man. I mean, you can't just be out here running around, man, just poking everything that move. See, when we talk about having more than one wife, that don't mean you could just have a couple of women you poke on. Wife has a certain terminology, has a certain definition. So if you're gonna have two wives, that's totally different than just having different women that you jump up and down on when you feel like it. You see what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. You don't want to be jumping up and down on these women and they're not contributing to your life in a major way. Truth be told, as a man, you only supposed to be willing to give yourself or give your energy to a woman who's contributing to your life. If a woman isn't in a wife position in your life, she don't deserve for you to give her your masculine energy. This ain't about your lust. This is about your energy. Protect your energy. You ain't sacrificing your lust. You protecting your energy. And I think as men, we don't think about protecting our energy enough. We don't think there's anything damaging to our energy to just be around here jumping up and down on all these multiple women. It's crazy out here to be jumping up and down on all these multiple women. It makes no sense. If a man is just having sex with random women over and over again, moving from woman to woman, he is not a man because he's leaving too much of his masculine energy behind in all these women. He's leaving too much of his energy. See how when I said that halo lit up, man, the halo got right. Tony, appreciate the dime, handing out Jim. Doc, salute to you, Tony, salute. It don't even make no sense, man. Like, men value themselves so little, and that's another thing. A woman need to be totally aware of a man who feels like he can just have multiple women. Ask that man, does he feel that does he want to be in a monogamous relationship? If he says no, ask him what kind of relationship he want to be in. He either gonna say, I don't want to be in a relationship, I just want to hang out, I just want to chill, I just want to have a couple situationship, or I want to have two women. When he say you want to have two women, don't get upset. Ask him, does he want to have two women, or does he want to have two wives? That's your answer right there. If the man say he want to have two women, he ain't trying to get married. You got to ask these questions to keep you from wasting your damn time. That's how you get into wasting your time. That's how you get into looking up. It's been 20 years. You've been with the wrong man for 20 years. Now you're bitter and mad at the world. When it all boils down, it's your fault because you got to properly vet. You got to know how to vet. You haven't been taught how to properly vet. Because in a perfect world, a man will be honest with you about who he is. But we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a perfect world where men will get over on you just as quick as women will. We just live in that world. We live in that world where nobody can be trusted. You can't trust someone until they show themselves to be a godly person. The only person you can trust is a person who lives a life, man, in a serious attempt to live a life that's pleasing to God. You can't trust nobody else. You can't trust nobody else. And that's real. You just can't, man. So you ask a man, do he have a job and where he work at? You got to ask that man, how often is he late to his job? Is he the hardest worker, or is he just hard? Is he working hard or hardly working? Is he the hardest worker? Is he the hardest grinder? Is he the most focused? Is he always punctual? These are qualities that make up manhood and masculinity. These are qualities of responsibility. What's the longest you've been at one job? Have you ever been promoted at a job? Like, you gotta know a man's ambition, because if a man doesn't have a proper amount of ambition, he's not gonna ever be able to provide for a family. And here's the thing: as a man, if you want a family, it's your job to provide for your family. I don't care who say what. It's your job to provide for your family. If you want a family as a man, it's your job to provide for your family. And that's just the reality of it, man. You got to be able to do that. And of course, I got notes. I always have notes. I wasn't planning on y'all seeing me flip the page, but I have notes. King by the bag. Salute, man. Appreciate the 5 bones. Get a swig of this H2O, man. It's the best low-calorie drink in all the world, homies. So here's another thing, man. And this is one, boy, when a woman asks me this, man, I just look at her, man, like she don't know what she's talking about. But they ask you this: do you go to church? I want you to think about that. I know the Homer Chief going to enjoy that one. Do you go to church? Do you go to church? Do you go to church? Now, a man will say, yeah, and he don't go to church because he'll go to church just so he can get laid. See, women don't understand that a man will do just about anything to get laid if that's what he wants to do. Do you go to church? This is what a woman should, and you know my answer is always nah, shout. I ain't finna go to nobody church now. I ain't going to church. If somebody in my family get married at church, I still ain't going. Don't even look. When I die, I don't even have my funeral at no church. I ain't going there while I'm alive, and I don't want to be in there when I'm dead either. But what a woman should be asking you is, how often do you pray? How often do you pray? How often do you pray? Do you pray all the time, or sometimes do you just talk to God? There's a difference. Here's a question that women don't ask a man. Do you honor the Sabbath day? See, the problem in this society is women don't know what a godly man is. That's why they ask you, do you go to church? They don't know nothing about a man honoring the Sabbath day. They don't know nothing about the blessings that come along with honoring the Sabbath day. She'll ask you, do you know the Bible? Okay, anybody can read something and memorize it. You know the Bible? A woman will respect a man who can just quote the Bible. But she won't ask him the important question. Do you meditate in the word? Do you meditate in the word? Do you drown yourself in the word? Do you eat the word for breakfast? Do you drink it at night before bed? Do you dream about it? And the most important question of all, and this comes along with honoring the Sabbath day, do you apply it to your life? Because when a woman finds out you don't go to church and you're not a Christian, you get to weed out a bunch of women with that. Because a woman who says what she wants as far as what a man of God is or what a godly man is, that woman is already lost. Because she don't even know what a godly man is. She don't even know what a godly man looks like, what he smells like, what he sounds like. She don't even know what he eats. She'll be sitting down with a man who got a belly full of pork and a plate full of seafood. And talking about she got a good godly man. God does not dwell in filth. He does not dwell in abominable environments. That's why when people tell me they're in the bathroom taking a dump, they talking to God. Don't you talk to God while you're taking a dump. He don't want to be in there with you while you defecating or leaving your waste. When the children of Israel were in the wilderness, he told them, when you relieve yourself, you dig a hole and bury that crap. So when I'm in the camp, you won't defile me. The camp won't be defiled when I come through. Bury that crap under the ground. I don't want to smell your boo-boo. I don't want to see it. I don't want to smell it. It's waste. Keep it out of the midst of me. And here's the main question that a woman don't ask a man. A woman will ask you, do you believe in God? Do you know God? Do you love God? All these things about do you this and do you that? Do you pray to God? But she won't ask you, do you fear God? When the book of Proverbs says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And fear of the Lord, you can see it in a man's actions. Like Flim just said, you can see fear of the Lord in a man's actions. And if he doesn't fear the Lord, you ain't got yourself nothing. Flee, because all that man is going to do is bring evil energy into your life. You got to know better. And when you know better, you do better. They just don't know what they're looking for. She's looking for something to make her feel a certain way. She's looking for something to make her heal a certain way. She's looking for something to make her live a certain way. But she's not looking for something that'll make her give a certain way. Give yourself completely. Give yourself wholeheartedly. Give all of you to this man because you know he deserves it, because you have asked the proper questions and left no stone unturned. So from now on, stop asking the man, does he know God? Ask him, does he fear God? And you're going to get one of two answers. You're going to get fear of the Lord as the beginning of the wisdom, and I want to be the wisest man ever lived. I want to knock King Solomon off his throne. Or you're going to hear, nah, shout, I ain't scared of nothing. Fear? Nah, I don't fear nothing. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. When you hear things like that, flee the scene. Because here's the thing that a woman has to understand. If you want the man that God prepared you for, he at least got to be a godly man. You at least got to vet him for godliness. How you think God gonna prepare you for a man who's not a godly man? You should have some questions. Now, I don't condone that you go around just questioning the Most High, but you should have a question. Wait a minute, God, what is this? You been preparing me for this guy? Kevin R., appreciate the 5 bones. Thoughts on fornication. They told me the real test of love is her keeping it from you before marriage, when the Bible said we can have multiple wives. What's marriage? There is no biblical law that says you got to go have a wedding and do all that for marriage, man. You can literally just meet a woman and marry her. Like, you marry a woman, that's really between you and God and the woman. You ain't got to go through all these steps and all these marriage licenses and all these ceremonies and all these crap right here, man. You can literally, as a man, you have the power to see a woman, want to wife her, and if that woman wants to be your wife, you got yourself a wife. You ain't got to go through all that foolishness, man. All that just a way to get the system tied in and for them to make a buck off you and for them to control the dynamics of the situation. If you keep the system out of it, you know how much you can accomplish, man, in a situation with your woman, man. You and your woman, you keep the system out of it. The system has no control. She's more likely to be on board, really on board, because there's no quick outlet for the system. That's all the system wanted to do, man. The system wanted you as a man to not be able to fully control your situation and properly lead your woman without their influence. Sex consummates and consecrates marriage. It's just that so many people around here just throwing themselves all willy-nilly at sex. Oh, let's just have sex. Sex is good. I want to have a bunch of women. I want to knock a bunch of men. Oh, sex feels so good. It feels so amazing. Everybody going about it, and they treat it like it's throwing a football with your son. You know what I'm saying? They treat sex like it's something like going to the sink, get a glass of water. It's not. It's a sacred thing that should only take place between a man and his wife. That's the truth about sex. It should only take place between a man and his wife. It's only blessed when it takes place between a man and his wife. And I don't mean his legal marriage wife. I'm talking about the woman that man is spiritually connected to and he wants her as his wife. All that legal stuff, you can throw it in if you want to. All they're going to do is set you up and get your pockets raped. And if you're a godly man, here's the thing that a woman has to understand about a godly man. If a godly man chooses you to be his wife, not legal, but he chooses you to be his wife. If he decides that he don't want to be with you, he's not going to send you away empty-handed. That's just not what a godly man does. A godly man doesn't say, okay, this isn't working. You're not who I thought you were. I thought you were someone else, blah, blah, blah. And then he sends you away. He's not going to send you away empty-handed. That's just not what a godly man is going to do. That's not what the word says do. So a godly man isn't going to send you away empty-handed, whereas you got to get caught up in the system so you can make sure you don't get sent away empty-handed. The thing that the system has done, it has been put in place to where a woman can just leave whenever she get ready and take the money with her. We're not going to play that game. That's a stupid game to play. You're a fool as a man if you put yourself in a situation right now. Now, if you already in it, you already in it. Some of y'all men marry women straight out of high school. Some of y'all marry women younger than high school. Some of y'all got married y'all 16. Some of y'all just, you got to think about this. But now, with the way the modern women think, you crazy as hell if you go down there and put yourself in a legal marriage, bro. You crazy. Because women don't look at legal marriage as marriage. They look at it as the pipeline to divorce. That's why they press legal marriage, legal marriage, legal marriage. I had a woman tell me, man, that if I ever marry her, man, if I ever want her to be my wife, man, I would have to marry her legally because she want to make sure that that if it don't work out, she don't leave empty-handed. And I respected her for being honest about it. All of them should be honest about it. But she was honest about it. So I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what women think. This is how women feel about it. They don't want to leave empty-handed. And the thing is, it's unfortunate that they can't trust the majority of men to make sure they don't leave empty-handed. I have no problem with a woman not leaving empty-handed, man. I have no problem with that. Like, even if a woman in my life, man, I have no problem with doing shit for her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have no problem. I can afford it. I can afford it. Now, I'm not finna ball like a dog on her. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna do all that. But I ain't got no problem with doing things for a woman, man. Little simple things, man. Come on, bro. You know, a couple of $100, $300, $400, $500 here and there, man, that ain't nothing. You know, over a long period of time, if she earns that, she deserves that, hey, man, I don't have no problem with it. You get to a point as a man where you realize that if you're going to be a man, you are responsible for your household. You're just responsible for your household. If not, you might be in a 50-50 relationship. And a 50-50 relationship, the woman in control of. If you're in a 50-50 relationship, the woman gain control by default. By default. And that's it. Now, another thing, man, that a woman will ask. She will say, do you always use protection when you're intimate with a woman? But instead of asking you that, she needs to not even be worried about that. Because all she got to do, okay, y'all just go get tested before y'all be. You know how many women won't even make a man go get tested? Y'all go get tested together before y'all have sex. What the hell wrong with y'all nasty folks? What the hell is wrong with y'all nasty folks? If you ever been sexually active in your life, I don't care when you had your last pap smear. I don't care if you just saw your doctor 3 months ago. Shout it, when we meet, if you want me to break your back, if you want me to take a deep dive between your thighs, if you want me to put something in your spine, shout it, I'm going to be honest with you. You got to understand that me and you finna go together and we both finna go get tested for everything. That's what we going to do. If you don't want to do that, fine. Keep your cootie to yourself. Your cootie might have the cooties. I don't know nothing about that, but we need to go see. That's one of the major things that people don't, man, listen, I've never had a woman request that from me, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only had one woman, man, even require. Like, if I had what already gonna strap up regardless, I've only had one woman who was gonna make sure that I strapped up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and tell you, man, I've been with thousands of women, man. I haven't. I ain't one of those guys. But, I've been with some women, and I've only had one woman in my entire life who absolutely was going to make sure that I strapped up. Only one. And you think we ain't finna go get tested? Because I know I ain't the only. Now I'm a hell of a man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Any woman who comes around me, man, and gets exposed to one-on-one with no distraction, and my alpha energy engulf her ass, oh, she caught up. It don't matter who she is, she caught up. You understand? Because it's just gonna be an experience for her. Not because I'm the most amazing man in the world. I could be, but not because of that. But just because of the way that I prepare my environment, and my environment is always chock full of just my alpha energy. You know what I'm saying? There's no trinkets of feminine energy here and there and all that. Man, women can't come to my crib. So there's no trinkets of feminine energy here and there. It's all my masculine energy. So when a woman comes in, it's all me. She's engulfed. She's suffering. I mean, she's suffocated. She's smothered by my energy. And it's different. It gives her a level of masculine attachment that she just hasn't had in her life. Because when she comes here, that's all it is. It's just me and my energy. So I know that I need to make sure that she is clean and I am clean. You understand? Even though I'm going to strap up. It's just a thing. Because I'm going to be honest with you. There's a 1% chance. There's a 1% chance that at some point, it's hey man, you never know. Might be middle of the night, might be, because I'm good about waking up in the middle of the night, man, by 2-3 o'clock in the morning, man, and you know what I'm saying, like she'll be waking to a back breaking. I'm good about that. Like for me, that's one of my things. You know what I'm saying? That's phenomenal. Hell of a way to wake up. Because here's the thing: 9 times out of 10, if a woman is laid up with me, man, she already gonna be seething. You know what I'm saying? So that thing already gonna be marinated because she gonna have had such a wonderful time and such a wonderful experience just being around me and get the experience of what a true masculine man feels like when you're sitting in his presence and you're talking to him and you're being engaged with him and you get to see how a truly masculine man touches a woman. Not in a sexual touch all the time, but just in a touch. How she may walk by and a man may smack on the ass. Okay, a woman with a nice ass been smacked on the ass before, but she ain't never had her ass caressed by a man who just a sensual passing caress. A lot of women have never been caressed, man. You know what I'm saying? They've been poked on, they've been stroked on, they've been a whole bunch of things, man. But a lot of these women ain't never been caressed mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually at the same time. And if a woman come around me, man, she's gonna be engulfed by some shit she ain't never been exposed to. That is truth of the matter. There may be somebody who got more money than me. There may be somebody who more handsome than me. There may be somebody who built better than me. There may be somebody who got all those things. But man, when you average it out, I'm solid B's across the board. So where they got F's, I ain't got no F's. Where they got C's, I ain't got no C's. Where they got a D, I ain't got no D's. They might have some A's, I ain't got no A's, but I got solid B's across the board, which means when you average me out, I'm killing it. And when a woman come around that, man, she get to experience that in her life, it's going to be the first time that she's ever experienced it, because I don't care about none of that other comparison stuff. I don't compare myself to nobody but me. I compare myself to the version of me from last year and the year before that and the year before that and yesterday. So when you think about it, man, I don't know, I went all the way to the left on that one, man. But these are some questions that a woman have to ask a man. And these are serious. These are serious. So I want y'all to listen closely. After you ask him, is he attracted to men? You got to ask him, does he like his butt played with? This is a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing. You have to ask a man if he likes anal pleasure. You got to ask him that, because that is something that you need to compartmentalize and put in your brain. Because you have to understand, you don't know what the limits of that anal pleasure is. You don't know how far it's willing to go. You understand? And I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's a line where if you cross it, it's crossed in every area. I don't think you can cross a certain line and they'd be like, well, I'll cross it, but I won't go there with it. Nah, there are certain lines in every aspect of life. If you cross them, you'll go everywhere with them. You see what I'm saying? And you just got to keep in mind that these are questions you need to ask. These are very important questions, and the majority of women are afraid to ask a man these questions. Because for one thing, these dudes out here crazy. So you gotta be careful because you ask a dude this and he the wrong dude to ask, and he already feel bad about it, and already feel guilty about it, and already, feeling stressed about, living that lifestyle, he may lash out at you. So be careful about that. Figure out a way to ask it, or don't ask it, just see. You know what I'm saying? When y'all intimate, just see. And there's a certain response you're supposed to get. There's a certain response you're supposed to get when you even try anything like that. There's just a certain response you're supposed to get. Y'all know what that response is. Another thing you have to ask a man, and this is going to hurt a lot of y'all because y'all don't ask this question. What did the woman you were in your longest relationship with look like? Describe her physically. And this is what y'all women got to understand. If you dark skinned and she was light skinned, she's probably his type. You're not. If you're slim and she was thick, she's probably his type. You're not. If you're tall and she was short, she's probably his type. You're not. If she was educated and you're not, she's probably his type. You're not. If she was hood, you're not. She's probably his type. You're not. You have to ask yourself, because men are physical creatures. If a man has options, you can guarantee the first thing he's going to look at is physicality. And you ain't even just asking about that one. Ask him about all this one. What's his preference? Give him to show you some pictures. What's his preference? If his preference is the opposite of what you are putting yourself in a bad situation. If his preferences are the opposite of you, what you're looking at in his preferences are the women that he's going to be messing around with while y'all together. That's just the reality of it. One thing that men rarely change is their physical preferences. We could learn some things and prefer a woman. I don't really want no woman that got all the degrees no more, man. She don't really have no time. Or I don't really want no woman who blah, 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 because she don't really, all of that. But physicality, we're pretty consistent with that. And always, don't get emotional when you ask a man questions. Be calm. Don't get emotional. Be inviting, be engaging, so you can get honest answers and protect yourself. Because the worst thing that can happen is here I come with my alpha ass, come across you physically. You what I want. We got this energy connection. But once I get to know you, baby girl, I realize you scarred by some beta male Simp Mangina from the past. That'd be such a bad thing. Juggernaut, appreciate the dub. Salute, Doc. Got a home I've been down with past decade, running through chicks on Tinder. I'm thinking about approaching the topic of protecting himself and his injury from scallywags. Is it my place to broach that topic with it? Yeah, man, you can run it by him. It's always your place to try to give your brother the information that he needs, and whether he receives it or not. Now, you can't attach yourself in any emotional way to whether he receives it or not. If you give him the information, he like, man, forget that, man. I'm gonna do what I do. Then you just gotta let it go. But yeah, if that's your homie, man, that's your partner, always try to put him up on game, man. You just can't force it. Agent of the Truth, appreciate the dime. It's been a minute since I've been able to catch you live. It's great to see that you're still doing God's work, Dr. BOA. Salute to you, Agent. Salute, man. Welcome back, man. Good to see you in the joint. All right, man. I think they're gonna knock us out, man. I think we knocked everybody out, man. So, hey, man, look. Man, we out here, man, trying to be the most alpha version of ourselves. We're going to have obstacles. There are going to be things that we have to overcome. There are going to be people who are in our way. There's going to be a lot of things. But the one thing for certain, the two things for sure, the one thing I'm going to tell you right now before we go, alpha's up, beta's down. It's the motto. Peace. Seems like no matter what you do sometimes, your efforts go underappreciated or unappreciated, period. You know, all we do, man, is try to give men the information they need to become the best version of themselves. No hate. We love women. We don't hate them. We just don't take no foolishness. And we can't be controlled by our lust. Those men can, but not us. Alpha's up, beta's down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alpha's up, beta's down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though.
motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though.
Now, I'm not gonna tell you, man, that you shouldn't value your woman at all. A woman does have value, but you can't overvalue her and convince yourself that she brings more value to your life than you bring to hers. You know, just the protection and provision is more than a woman can ever make up for, man. So I'm not saying don't give her props for what she does, but damn sure never make her feel like she's more important to you than you are to her, because it's just a figment of your imagination. She knows the truth, so you have to understand the truth as well. This is called the abundance mindset. There's nothing she can give you that you can't give yourself besides a baby. And do you really want one of those right now? Nope.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though.
You see, the main thing that men let women slide with is shut-uppiness and obedience. Now, when you use the term obedience with a woman, she automatically relates that to being a slave. But slaves aren't obedient. Obedience is a choice. Slaves either do it or die. Shut-uppiness is another thing that women have a problem with. It doesn't mean you can't talk. It means that you can't talk when I'm talking. It means that when we're talking about things that I do as the man, you don't have an opinion on those things, because I make decisions based on facts, not opinions, not even my own opinions, and most certainly not yours.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha,